Welcome back. It's Wednesday, January 18th in the NBA. My four favorite picks are on the way. Let's recap yesterday, though. A 1-in-1 day. Our best bet of the day, James Harden. Yeah, he shot 6 times. Look, it was a bad call. He did not do anything last night. And our Kyrie, Simmons, and Trey Jones SGP technically hit, but Kyrie did not play, so that leg voided. You basically cashed like minus 300 or minus 250 or something like that. Either way, I give out 3 leans at the end of the video. Naturally, all 3 of those hit. Of course, there's a little silver lining there, but that's just been the bad breaks we've been having. But day 4 of the ladder challenge hits, thanks to this man. Damian Lillard fouls Aaron Gordon, helping him get over 10 points, which is all we needed. And I know it's been a little bit of a rough stretch here, so I got to mix it up. We're changing the background, and we're adding something new. Mr. Kyle Kuzma, we're adding his bobblehead. Thanks to John for sending it to me. Look, we need some good vibes, so we're putting me out here. I don't plan on losing another bet. If you're new, my name's Austin. Welcome to the Call on Our Shot channel. Go down below, hit that subscribe, and hit that like button. Just past 70K subscribers. Let's hit 100K one of these days. Ladder challenge day 5. If you have no idea what the ladder challenge is, well, just go watch one of our YouTube shorts. It'll kind of fill you in. That should be posted later on this morning, probably around 11 a.m. Eastern time. No idea what I'm going to do. I'll probably talk about it at the end of this video. Let's hop into it. Let's get back on track. We're going to a COS Hall of Famer, a guy I need to buy a shirt for. Mr. Jalen Brunson, over 25.5 points, minus 113 on FanDuel. And as of this moment, right now, we are 8-0 on Jalen Brunson props this year. I believe 6 of them have been unders, 2 have been overs, but the consistent is Brunson always plays how we need him to play, and he's treated us nicely. Hopefully we can move to 9-0 on Brunson props. Now, this is playable at 26.5. If you want to sprinkle on 30-plus points, go crazy. Now, Brunson, over this line in 7 straight games. They put his under a little bit low last game against the Raptors. He did barely squeak over it, but he's been playing really well, averaging 32.7 points per game over this last 7. He's trying to become a first-time NBA All-Star, and they're back at home in Madison Square Garden. And look, the last 7 games, he's attempted 17 or more field goal attempts in all 7. Honestly, he's been attempted way more than that, 23.7 field goal attempts these last 7 games. The one game he ended with 17 was the game that Julius Randle went out there and dropped a 40-piece. Now, I don't expect a big day from Julius Randle today, neither from RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett could be guarding Bradley Beal if he's back. Either way, or Quentin Grimes guards him. But either way, we just saw them play against the Wizards. That was a game that Brunson dropped 34 points. Love his matchup the most if they're guarding him with Monte Morris, which they likely will. We've seen a lot of guards light up this Wizards team, not just Jalen Brunson. We saw Curry and Jordan Poole both just light him up for 41 and 32 in the same game. You saw Zach LaVine have 38 against him. CJ McCollum, 34. SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 30 points. The guards that shoot a lot have had success versus the Wizards. We're going to see a guy like Brunson get into the paint, get where he likes to shoot it. And it's a 5 or 6 point spread, so I expect the Wizards to keep it a little bit close. But we know Tom Thibodeau, even if they're up 25, he's just like, well, fine, we'll put the guys back in. He runs his guys into the ground. He doesn't care about their future. He just cares about winning one game. And look, he's going to keep continuing to play those guys big time minutes. I really do like, I think Jalen Brunson has a big night. We'll take us over 25.5 points. Go JB. Let's go make it to 9-0 on Brunson props. Now let's move on to my second play of the day. And I really do like this one as well. It's Mr. Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat, over 21.5 points, minus 105 on DraftKings. This goes up to 22.5. You can take it there. If you maybe goes up to 22.5, you can look at like a 20.8 rebound, like SGP or something like that. But let's talk about Adebayo having his best offensive season of his career. I know he's only been in the NBA for a couple seasons, but averaging 21.4 points per game, by far his career high. Now, he's been really aggressive this whole season, but especially as of late, and that's what we like to see out of the Adebayo. Sometimes you'll see him just not try some games. He just looks a little bit too relaxed, doesn't shoot much, but he's been shooting a lot over these last 23 games, which is a large sample size since like November 20-something. Adebayo averaging 23.3 points per game, hitting this over in 14 of 23. Now 14 and 23, not the best conversion rate, but he has finished on 20 or 21 points, a point or a free throw or a bucket or a free throw away from that 4 times. So 20 plus points in 18 of his last 23 games, averaging 17.3 field goal attempts per game. Look, he's attempted 19 plus in 3 straight games, and they're coming off a loss, so expect him to be aggressive tonight. Hero's back, Jimmy Butler's back, but I think Kyle Lowry's still projected out, and you know the Heat always have like 900 people on the injury report, and bam, like I said, is under in 2 straight games, so he's due to go over, and those 2 straight games, he ended with 20 points on the dot, so he was right at the hook, right there, just a bucket away, and he started those games really bad. He actually had 4 points at halftime in both of those 2 games. So if he even has 6 points at halftime, he would have hit the over in both those situations. You can consider live betting his over again if that is what happens tonight. But you look at this matchup against this Pelicans team over the last 15 games, allowing the 3rd most points per game to centers. Jonas Valanciunas defense, never heard of it. Fouling, that's the defense he likes to play. And hopefully he sends Adebayo to the free throw line Either way, Jonas, I don't expect him getting out of bio into foul trouble, and we've seen centers feasting on this team. He's much more athletic than anything that this Pelicans roster can throw at him. And look at Bam's last game against New Orleans, 29 points. So he's obviously, when he shoots against them, he's had success. When we look at recent centers versus the Pelicans, you saw Jared Allen, the throw, 24 points. His teammate, Evan Mobley, 19 points. Rare to see both of those two guys have great games, and yet they both did. Joel Embiid had 42 and 37 points against his team. Christian Wood, 28. Kristaps Porzingis, 23. Adebayo's been pretty aggressive as of late, attempted more field goal attempts than basically every single guy I just listed, except for Joel Embiid. I think he goes out there, attempts a lot of shots, and hopefully he gets to the free throw line, knocks down some shots. They've given up a great field goal percentage, and Adebayo's not a guy that's going to be attempting a ton of threes. Normally a lot of mid-ranges or at the rim, catching lobs from his teammates. I think he'll be able to set picks, run a little faster than Jonas to the hoop, and hopefully he has a pretty good day. We'll take his over 21.5 points. I'd take it at 22.5 or take an SGP if you need to. Let's move on to my third and fourth final plays of the day, and we'll talk about a couple leans, talk about the ladder, and then we'll obviously get out of here with some COS All-Stars. We're going to Desmond Bane of the Memphis Grizzlies over 23.5 points plus rebounds, which is currently minus 125 on DraftKings. I'm laying a little bit of juice here, but you can play this at 24.5, which is what I see on FanDuel right now at minus 104. And if you need an individual line, points is always the way to go. Now, look, PRAs, the difference this morning was 23.5 and I think 27.5 if I'm not mistaken. If the difference is 4, I don't hate taking the PRA line. I just don't really love his assist today. His assist line is 3.5, but a lot of books have plus value on the over, so they're not expecting him to get more than 4 or more assists. So that's why I did points plus rebounds, but I think Bane can fill up the stat sheet. Points is obviously a way to go. We know Desmond Bane. He can go out there and score 25 points like he has the last 2 games. But let's dive into this a little bit more because they're facing the Cavaliers. They're at home, and Cavs allow the third fewest points per game in the paint. Now, I don't really mind that because Bane's not really a guy that's going to, dunk on people. That's Ja Morant's job. But we see him really shooting a lot of mid-ranges, shooting a lot of three-pointers. That's where he does his damage. And I think that's where you can do damage against the Cavaliers team. And you look at Bane over the last 7 games, 21 points per game, 6.1 rebounds per game. That's 27.1 points plus rebounds. And he hasn't even been playing his large majority of minutes. He's over this line in 6 of the last 7 with 17, 24, 25, 30, 30, 31, and 33. Those last 2 games, they weren't chronological order. Those last 2 games have been in chronological order because he's had 33 and 31 points plus rebounds the last 2. And since returning from injury on December 23rd, they've kind of inched his minutes up and up and up. And right now he's playing his normal complement of minutes, playing about 33, 34 minutes per game. Now, if you look at his game log, you'd be like, Austin, he only played 29 minutes last game. Well, yeah, that's because there were blowouts. He played 29 minutes entering the 4th quarter. If the games were even close, he would have played even more minutes, 4, 5, 6 minutes to end out the game. Probably hit the over even easier. I think this line still stays low because they're not factoring that in that. We know Desmond Bane can go out there and score 25 points. If Ja Morant has struggles scoring against Jared Allen and Evan Mobley down below, we're going to see a guy like Bane come out here and play pretty well. I think the Cavaliers are a team that can keep this close. I know they're 7-point underdogs, but the Cavs have a very good starting lineup. They were very good last year, even though Donovan Mitchell could miss this game, probably does. They're very good last year without Donovan Mitchell. They still have a great bench too, getting healthier and healthier. And Bane averaging 26.7 points plus rebounds this year. We just need him to play average, and he hits this over. I think he has a pretty good day. He could obviously hit this over in just points alone, but he could also chip in 6 to 10 rebounds. You never really know with Desmond Bane. So give me his over, 23.5 points plus rebounds, currently minus 125 on DraftKings. And for my fourth and final play of the day, a guy that I don't know if a lot of people will be targeting today, but maybe a couple. Maybe I saw 1 or 2 people on Twitter. John Collins. I like his over 21.5 PRAs, minus 120 on DraftKings. Now, if you need individual line points, go with that. You need a playable up to 23.5. I honestly think John Collins could crush this. Now, let's talk about this line, though, because right now, FanDuel this morning didn't have a points plus rebound or PRA line. They had a points plus rebounds. You can take that, too. John Collins, knock on wood, he doesn't get a lot of assists. I wouldn't be mad if he dropped like 3 assists today, but he doesn't get more than normally, maybe 0, maybe 1 assist normally. If you look at Collins under this line in 3 straight games with 15, 16, and 19 PRAs, a couple of those due to foul trouble. 1 game he just didn't do too well in. Prior to that, he was over this in 5 straight. So he's kind of been a John Collins roller coaster, not like the Drew Holiday roller coaster, which is more of like a up, down, up, down, up, down. I guess he has some waves and stretches in there, and hopefully the stretch starts to go up because he's dominated this matchup against the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, look, the Mavericks are a great matchup for him in general. Last 15 games, 4th most points per game, 8th most rebounds per game to power forwards. So they're giving up a lot of points and rebounds to power forwards. Obviously, I threw an assist there because FanDuel had the same line as PRA. So there's no reason for me not to at least tack an assist, but there's a large difference that it might just be 1 today. And Collins likely going to get a mismatch here. The Mavericks, their best defender is Dorian Finney-Smith. He's potentially back today. He's probably going to go out there and guard Trae Young, and he maybe gets Reggie Bullock on him. I don't think he gets Luka Doncic, but either way, you see the Collins last 6 games. These are not typos at all. Last 6 games against the Dallas Mavericks, averaged 26.7 points per game, 13.1 rebounds per game, and 1.3 assists per game. That's 41.1 PRAs per game. He's crushed it, 26.7. He's at the over in just points alone. And we know John Collins can go out there and grab some rebounds. I know Clint Capella's back, but that's fine too. Clint's going to contest a lot of shots at the rim, and Collins going to be the guy to clean up the glass. In those 6 games, you see these PRA numbers. 38, 37, 54, 48, 42, 28, and 41 PRAs against him. Trae Young might have some difficulty scoring against a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith. We know DeJounte Murray is always hit or miss, but Collins has been playing really well against his team. Hopefully he bounces back after 2 or 3 bad games. I think Collins could easily hit this over in just points alone. He's going to play his normal like 30, 35 minutes, and I think he has a pretty big night. We'll take his over, 21.5 PRAs. Hopefully he cashes us all out and makes us look smart for once in the past like a couple weeks. But here's a couple leans. Naturally, like I said, these went 3-0 yesterday. I'm not tracking them towards my record because that's not how the leans work. Leans are just plays I considered, but not going to force. I don't only want to have 4 plays today. No added plays. We'll just have the ladder challenge in a little bit, which I'll talk about in a second. I like LaMelo Ball under 42.5 PRAs. I know it's hard to bet an under against the Rockets, but at the end of the day, they rose this line like 6 PRAs, and I know LaMelo's been great recently, but 42.5 is a steep line for a guy that doesn't really grab, 15 plus rebounds and doesn't normally get, 12 plus assists. So I know he could score a lot of points, but if he doesn't knock down his shots, he ain't getting near this. And LaMelo could obviously knock down shots against the Rockets, but they aren't terrible, right? The Rockets can play a little bit of defense, and I know it's hard to bet an under here, but I think that line's a little bit too high for a guy like LaMelo Ball. Obviously, he could hit it, but playing numbers alone, I think I like his under. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 29.5 points. Been very hit or miss. He's under in 2 straight, but back at home. Love his matchup today against the Pacers, a team that really doesn't have a great defender. Now, they do give up a lot of fouls. The Pacers commit a lot of fouls, so maybe we'll see SGA at the line a lot. So I don't mind SGA's over 29.5 points. I think that's a pretty good one. So those are some leans. And let's talk about the ladder challenge before we get out of here. I have not picked it yet. I have no idea. I normally like to get these videos out to you guys, then I'll decide on it and then edit that video. But I am looking at the Kings-Lakers game. I think there's some value there. The over-unders like 246, close spread. I think that one's good. And I'm also looking at the Hawks versus Mavericks game. I think both of those have pretty good opportunities. I don't really want to go to any other games. I don't really like any other games. Like the Knicks-Wizards isn't terrible. You can look at Julius Randle and Brunson. The problem is I don't trust any Wizards to really do anything good. So I'm looking at the Lakers and Kings game. Probably going to be in there. Or we're going to be looking at that Hawks-Mavericks game. But stay tuned. Check out the YouTube short and you'll see it there. Of course, time to shout out some COS All-Stars. Love to see this list grow every single day. Can't do without you guys. I know it's been a cold streak, but today feels like a good day. 4-0 gets us right back on track where we need to be. Let's dive into these guys. We got Andrew Gregory, Cerulean Dog. We got Augustine Charles, Colin, Young Drick. If you ever want to become an all-star, go down below, hit the join button, get our plays early, and you get to support the channel. We also got John, we got Marcus, Mace, we got Lydell, we got Zay, Eric, Andrew, Pretentious Prodigy, Be Free, Brad, I'm not going to pronounce your last name. I'm sorry if that actually is your last name. Bonnie or Filer Snooze. We got Bonnie and Clyde Benjamin. I'm a businessman. We got Josh, Jean, Nicholas, Cody, Marcus, Brad, Jay Swish, and Trippy. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you ever support any sportsbook sign-up bonuses, they're all linked down below. My name's Austin. I'll be back a little bit later for the ladder challenge. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go 4-0. See you guys later. Peace.